My name is Veronica, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. How did that one do?
That was very good. Do it just maybe one or two more, okay? Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Well, it's been a long ride for Manny Pacquiao, but that train has finally come to a complete stop. Yordenis Ugas pulling off this huge win derails all plans of Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence ever getting their hands on Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence, who didn't show up at the fight, he did react to Ugas pulling off the big win. The first thing he said was to Ugas, and he said, "Good shit, Ugas." Like, congratulations on your win. And then more recently, he said it would have been really bad for Manny Pacquiao if he would have been fighting me that night, which I think we would all agree. Because you got to think about this. What really gave Pacquiao problems this weekend against Ugas was Ugas's range and his great jab that he had. He controlled Pacquiao with that long, stiff jab. And look at where Ugas' feet is at in this picture right here. It's showing you that he was also controlling positioning in the fight. And he was outsmarting Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao has never had a great defense, which is why he's already been knocked out 3 times in his career and has so many L's on his record. Now, there's no doubt he lost to some really good fighters. It's kind of funny how desperate anti-black fans, because I don't even want to say Manny Pacquiao fans, because it's the same thing with Tyson. The majority of these guys are not really Tyson Fury fans or Manny Pacquiao fans. I'm talking about outside of, when we're talking about Manny, obviously, I'm talking about outside of Filipino fans, right? The majority of these fans are really just anti-black fans, meaning they just root against the black fighter whenever he's going up against someone who's not black. Perfect example, what just took place this past weekend. You had a Latino fighter fighting against Manny Pacquiao. And outside of the Cubans, you look on the internet or you talk to people on the streets, and not one single Latino was pulling for the Latino fighter. They were all rooting for Manny Pacquiao, not because they were huge Manny Pacquiao fans, because they were huge anti-black fans. You don't believe me? Go read the comments on the internet. Watch anybody's video about this fight and read the comments on the internet. And you will see the only people that are either defending Manny Pacquiao or trying to trash Ugas' win are unfortunately other Latinos. There was actually a Mexican fan who posted a comment on my post-fight video. And while once again everyone else was congratulating Ugas and they were just talking about the fight, right? This guy at the time, the video had only been up for about an hour or two. This guy was the only person in the comment section that said, "It's hilarious that people are happy that Ugas beat an old guy." And then he puts all the laughing emojis. So a whole bunch of people responded to him, basically exposing the double standard, saying things like, "Now, you know, if Floyd Mayweather would have got beat, you would have been celebrating. Nobody would say that Floyd Mayweather was old and no one should be happy about Floyd Mayweather losing his undefeated record and losing," right? And it was just other people just exposing the double standards. So eventually, this guy, he tries to then change his stance and say, "Oh, well, I'm happy he got the win. I'm just saying blah, 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 this and this and that," right? But wait a minute, how are you going to now say you're happy he got the win when originally his exact words were, "It's hilarious that people are happy that this guy Ugas beat an old man"? You see how they try to flip things once people start exposing them for who they are? It's too late to change what you said now because you already revealed who you are. And these are the same decafs that are always so inconsistent with what they often say about Manny Pacquiao. They often stick their foot in their mouths when they're trying to praise him, when they're trying to suggest that he's greater than Floyd Mayweather. First of all, when this fight first came to fruition, they didn't even like this fight. You know, once again, when Ryan Garcia lied and told the public he was fighting Manny Pacquiao next, they all said, oh, you know, this is great for Ryan Garcia. He's fighting a legend. He should fight Manny Pacquiao instead of Gervonta Tank Davis. Who would turn that down? They were all for it when Ryan was doing it. Once they found out Errol Spence got the fight, all those cats went silent. Well, I won't say all of them. Half of them went silent. The other half, they already started to downplay the fight, saying, oh, why Errol Spence want to fight an old faded Manny Pacquiao? This is what they start saying, right? Then once Errol Spence got an eye injury, they want to switch it and say, oh, he was scared. He pulled out. He's just lying, etc., etc. Which one is it, guys? Is it Errol Spence is just picking on an old guy and this is an easy win for him? This is just a cherry pick? Or is it Manny Pacquiao is just this big legendary fighter that's just pumping fear into all of these young undefeated champions' hearts? You guys can't have it both ways. But what they often try to do is they're always trying to find a way to once again discredit the black fighter. But once you contradict everything you said, you end up giving that black fighter far more credit than Manny Pacquiao gets. You remember when these fans, they said, if Manny Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, that makes him greater than Floyd Mayweather. Remember that? So they're probably not even smart enough to realize that now you're admitting that Floyd Mayweather is greater than Manny Pacquiao. I mean, I'm not saying that it's even up for debate on who's greater. I'm just telling you the logic that these fans use and how they stick their foots in their mouths all the time, trying to find ways to justify their logic. So we all pretty much know, once again, Errol Spence, he would have completely obliterated Manny Pacquiao. Like I was saying earlier, the fact that Ugas was able to control Manny Pacquiao with his long arms, with that beautiful jabs up top, and then right hands down to the solar plexus. Errol Spence has the same tools. He has long arms. In fact, he might have even been taller than Ugas. I know he's around the same height, if not taller than Ugas. Very long arms. You've seen this is the way Errol Spence was able to completely dominate Mikey Garcia. Not with so much of him just being bigger, but him being so long and knowing how to use his long reach and his height. Something Robert Easter didn't know how to do when he fought against Mikey Garcia. And Robert is much taller than Errol Spence, right? So because of Errol Spence's long arms, he would have been picking apart Manny Pacquiao's face. He would start jabbing upstairs, downstairs, coming up with the stiff, hard left hand. And then the body shots come in, the uppercuts, the hooks. Because that's the only difference, or that's one of the differences from Errol Spence and Ugas. Ugas, he'll just stand right in front of you and he'll kind of counter. But when it comes to Errol Spence, he can do both. He can stand in front of you and counter, but he can also take the lead. Errol Spence is actually a pressure fighter, but knows how to box. He has the intelligence and the athleticism along with the pressure and the aggression. So Manny Pacquiao should probably thank Ugas for saving him further embarrassment. Because if he got in the ring with somebody like Errol or even Terrence Crawford, especially Terrence Crawford, I think Terrence Crawford would have stopped him, no doubt. Errol Spence probably would have stopped him too, but I just feel Terrence has a better chance of stopping him because Terrence is more of a master at adapting and adjusting to different styles. You know, he's great at basically taking someone's style and beating them at their own game. So now with Ugas getting the fight that Errol and Terrence Crawford wanted so badly, not only getting the fight, but pulling off the upset and beating Manny Pacquiao. Now he becomes the real deal at the welterweight division. In fact, now you can pretty much say we got the three kings at the welterweight division. They're pretty much all on the same level now with that kind of win. Crawford, Spence, and Ugas. Those are now the three kings at the welterweight division. It'll really be interesting now to see how an Ugas versus Errol Spence fight will play out, because now it seems like that's obviously the logical next fight to make, right? That's not an easy fight for Errol Spence and vice versa, Ugas. So, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Or Errol Spence, he could choose Ugas, or he could just go ahead and go straight after Terrence Crawford, which is the biggest fight in boxing right now. So he has his options. Now, before I wrap this video up, I want to talk about the excuse that Manny Pacquiao made for why he lost this fight. First of all, he started off in the post-fight press conference, or not the press conference, he started off in the post-fight interview, where he admitted he could not adjust to Ugas' style. Then he kind of started talking about his legs felt tight, etc., etc. It went from his legs feeling tight to later on in the press conference, he said he had a full-out cramp. But yet nowhere in the fight did he go back to his corner and try to stretch his leg. So this is what I want to say. If this has absolutely nothing to do with race, then that means I should see a lot of you fans, the same fans that flooded up the comment sections on the internet, saying the reason why we don't like Wilder is because he makes too many excuses. Why can't he just accept the loss, come back better, or whatever the case is, right? All they talked about was the excuses that he made. So you guys are not racist, right? So you guys should have the same energy when it comes to all of the excuses that Manny Pacquiao made. The excuse that he made when he lost to Floyd Mayweather. The excuses that he's making now, losing to Ugas, right? Let's see if they give Manny Pacquiao the Deontay Wilder excuse treatment. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. Contact them at 704-499-3471 and make sure you follow them on Instagram. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Errol Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to erroldequay.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.